Hello, I'm Carla, and I have Kim joining me today in this abdominal class. It is a short abdominal class. Like with any abdominal work, you are working the core, which includes your back. If you do have back issues, listen to your body, and at any point, make adjustments with the pose, bend the knees, do what you need to do, but don't strain your back to do abdominal work. We're coming to just a cross-legged position where you're sitting up tall. And with this extension of the spine and an openness in your chest, you'll bring the hands together in the prayer position. When you feel ready on an exhalation, let your eyes close. And with the exhalation, feel the softness in the skin of your face, the softness in the jaw and the neck region. Let the top shoulder release completely, releasing from the shoulder into the elbow. But with each of those releasing exhalations, don't allow the spine to slump. So on the inhalation, lift the spine up tall, open up the chest. Exhale, quieten the groins, the knees and the thighs settle down. With each inhalation, keep that tallness in the spine. Taking this time in Utkatasana to disconnect from the outside world, to bring your focus to your mat, to your body in this asana on your mat, to your breath and how it feels within this asana, how the asana is affected by each breath. We'll begin today's practice with the 3 Oms. Come back to your breath. On an exhalation, drop your chin down. Take a moment here to salute the divinity within. Releasing your hands into your lap. Lift your head up and gently allow the eyes to open. Okay, so we're coming to Supta Padangustasana 1 with a strap. You're lying on the floor in Supta Padasana and have a blanket for your head and your neck if you need it. So you'll know you need it if you have injuries in that area. Also, if your head rolls back and your chin is higher than the forehead, then absolutely have a blanket to support the head and the neck like Kim has done. You're lying at first in Supta Tadasana. You've got your strap nearby. The legs are together if you can get them, or apart is also fine. And feel the sacral region along the floor. Feel that the flesh of the buttocks is away from the back waist and out to the outer corner edges of the buttocks. So you can use your hands to adjust if you need. Feel also that from the top shoulder down the upper back, the flesh and the muscles of the shoulder blades are away from the neck. Back of the neck is long and supported. Let's just, did you adjust it? Is that okay on the neck? So the blanket supports the head and the neck, relax the shoulders. In the Supta Tadasana position, you can feel the equal length in the sides of the body. You can feel how the sacrum is even along the floor, and that's important for when you do Supta Padangustasana 1. So taking the right leg up now, you're going to take the strap around the ball of the foot. Here, we're just working on extending the legs. You're working on flexibility. So keep this extension on this right side of the body by moving the root of the right thigh. This outer hip area has to move away from the armpit. Keep the muscles of both legs firm to the bone so that both knees are firm. So first, just feel that your legs are becoming strong. Engage the muscles of the legs. Feruza described the cling wrapping of vegetables. So imagine that you are cling wrapping your skin, your flesh to the bone. See, can you straighten the knee completely? Keep that firmness in the muscles of the legs. Extend into the heel to stretch the back of the leg, and then extend into the big toe mound to stretch the front of the leg. Keep the legs strong. Feel where the sacrum is there levelness, is there evenness? Have you shrunk that right side of the waist? This left leg, the tendency is for the foot to turn out, so roll the inner left thigh down to the floor. You want to stay on the inner left, on the center left heel. Extend from the inner knee to the big toe mound on both legs. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the throat. So make sure you're not gritting your teeth to do this. And if you can stay here for long and let something just develop in the pose, hopefully over time you're able to maybe bring that leg closer and closer towards you, splitting the legs apart. So just working on flexibility and strength. When you've been here for a few breaths, you're going to release that leg down, coming back to Supta Tadasana, and then we'll take up the left leg. So make sure that the sacrum is level, the shoulder girdle and the pelvic girdle are aligned, and now bring the left leg up. Make sure you're not reaching for the strap and lifting the shoulders. The shoulders have to move back away from the ears. The upper arm retracts into the shoulder socket, and keep this openness in the chest. Broadness across the collarbones, softness in the throat. And then bring action to the legs. So all the same actions apply, where you're stretching the back of the leg completely, and then stretching the front of the leg, taking that extension into the big toe mound. Feeling the sacral region. Can you lengthen that left side of the body by moving the root of the left thigh away? The left buttock has to point towards the right heel. You're on the center right heel. That right inner thigh rolls down. And just breathe here for a few moments. Each exhalation, see, can you engage the legs, stretch them more? As you inhale, are you lifting the chest, stretching the spine? But use the exhalation also to relax any tension in the jaw, the neck, the shoulder. And then over time, as the pose kind of develops and evolves, maybe you can work on flexibility, maybe the leg will come. Feel how the abdomen is back to the spine, towards the floor here. And then when you've been there for a few breaths, release the leg and rest. Now we're going to do Supta Padangustasana 1, but without the strap. So you're working strength leg. You want to imagine that you're going to split the legs apart. So lift the right leg, split the legs apart. Try to keep the legs straight by reaching the heel away from you. Both heels, stretch the heel away from you. Can you soften the neck and the throat? Feel what the abdomen has to do here. Feel what the thigh muscles and the hip flexor leg muscles have to do to hold this leg in position. If you don't have the flexibility to bring the leg to 90 degrees, then it's really going to be a challenge for you. And you can release and let go. Have a rest in Tadasana. One nice way of practicing that, if you really don't have flexibility, is you find yourself a corner and you take one leg up against the wall and see if you can work flexibility in that manner. Now we're going to do the left leg. So left leg comes up, stretch both heels away, feel the work in the hips, especially those hip flexor muscles. Feel each abdominal contraction as you exhale, but relax the shoulders, the neck, the throat, the jaw as you exhale. And when you're ready to release, you release the leg down. So you can also take the arms up overhead to intensify that. Because we want to work a little bit into the abdominals, we're going to keep the hands at the sides, just sliding the thumb under the buttocks. If you have back injury, any back injuries, bring your hands a little bit more under the buttocks, hold the sides of the mat, or keep the knees bent. Just be cautious of doing this. especially if you're pregnant or menstruating, don't do this pose. So we're coming to Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. Urdhva is upward. Prasarita is extended. Padasana is the feet or the legs. So Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, the legs are at 90. Each exhalation, firm up the muscles of the legs, and also use the exhalation to soften the throat. As you inhale, use the inhalation to stretch the spine, open the chest. Use the inhalation to stretch the legs. So be conscious of your breath. Keeping the legs firm, you want to exhale and bring the legs down to 60 degrees. Keep the legs firm. Exhale, take the legs down to 30 degrees. Keep the legs firm and release the legs all the way to the floor. You're moving on the exhalation because you're using the force of that exhalation to help you move. Inhale, stretch the body. Exhale, bring the legs to 90. And then when you're ready, as you exhale, when you bring the legs to 60, look down your body. You should be able to see your toes past the horizon of your chest. When you bring the legs down to 30, you should be able to still see your toes and then all the way down. Back to 90 degrees. Inhale, stretch the legs. When you exhale, bring the legs down. Stop when you can see the knees beyond the horizon of your chest. Exhale down some more to 30 degrees. Stop when you can see the toes. Exhale down some more all the way to the floor. Feel, are you holding tension in the throat? Are you pressing into the head? Try to soften and relax there. You can keep practicing in this manner, or we're going to intensify it by pausing as you inhale also. So inhale, and when you're ready, lift the legs to 30 degrees, pause. On the next breath, you lift the legs to 60 degrees, pause. Next breath out, exhale, bring the legs to 90 and pause. Suddenly 90 feels restorative. When you're ready, you're going to come down. So exhale to 60. You can just see the knees beyond the horizon of your chest. Exhale down to 30. Look at the toes, pause. Exhale all the way down. Rest here. Feel your back. Feel any tension in the neck and the shoulders. If you're strong enough and you want to intensify, then you don't even rest in between. You can immediately come up again, or you can hover. So when you're ready, up to 30, up to 60, and up to 90. As you get tired, you'll see the demarcations become very slight. So stretch the legs, come down to 60, come down to 30. And then you'll either go all the way down or you'll hover and then come up to 30, up to 60. Work with your breath. When you get to 90, be there. Try to take a restorative breath there. Relax the back of the head. Don't push it into the mat. And then in your own time, come down in stages. You rest at any time. You continue these and do as many of them as you have time for, as you have strength for. You listen to your back. You listen to your shoulders, your neck, your throat. You try to keep that contraction in the abdomen. And of course, the legs are working. So do you have one more in you? Off you go. So you carry on until you can't anymore. To intensify, you can also take the arms out in line with the shoulders. Palms down gives you a little bit of a platform to grip on. Palms up is a little bit harder, but to keep the shoulders relaxed. And then the hardest position would be to take the arms over your head and do these up and down movements with the arms over your head. When you're ready, when you're finished, stretch the arms over your head, extend the abdominal region. Just have a few quiet breaths here. Relax the shoulders on the exhalation. Then you're going to bend your knees and roll onto your side to come up. So this abdominal work that you've been doing, when you exhale and bring the abdomen back to the spine, that's a very important action for Utkatasana. So we're going to go into Utkatasana. If you are a beginner, you can either have a chair behind you. That is a little bit helpful so that you feel like you're not going to fall down if you feel that your knees are not going to hold you. Or you can start with your buttocks against the wall. You'll be able to work on the openness of the chest. You'll be able to slide down into a seated position. You'll be able to reach forward and up with the arms as if you're completing the pose. Otherwise, taking the feet together. Would you like a phone? Sure. So some people find it uncomfortable to bring the legs together, either because of the knees or the back. So taking a foam in between the thighs or in between the knees, like Kim has done, gives you a little bit of something to press those outer thighs toward each other, and that stabilizes the hips a little bit better. When you're coming into the pose, you're not throwing your groins forward and coming into Utkatasana there. You also are not dipping the buttocks back and arching the back. You want to keep that control of the abdomen. So ready in Tadasana, lift from the pubic bone to the navel to the breastbone. Lock the elbows. Here, move the front thighs back and get the middle buttock to come in. Feel that internal lift. Soften the throat, the collarbones, breathe. You want to keep that lift of the abdomen, not just back to the spine, but also a lift up. Control the front ribs to the back ribs. Make sure that even the kidney area is lifting up so the back spine is long. And you want to keep that shape as you lift your arms in Urdhva Hastasana. As you exhale, seek a chair behind you. Keep that lift of the abdomen. Keep the flesh of the buttocks releasing down. Draw the abdomen back to the spine. Flesh of the buttocks down, lift the chest to lift the gaze, breathe. As you lift the chest, don't throw the buttock bones back, tuck in the buttock flesh, breathe. And when you're ready, you're going to press into the heels and straighten the legs, lift your arms up to come up, rest your arms, have a break. You're going to do it again. So again, you're controlling from the abdomen. Stretch your arms over your head and again, abdomen back, exhale, sit. Abdomen back, exhale, sit. Lift the shin bone up so that the weight moves to the heels. Descend the buttock flesh down. Connect the front rib to the back rib. Breathe. Lock the elbows. Breathe. Breathe. Lift your chest. Lift your gaze. Breathe. When you want to straighten up, you're going to lift the shins, straighten the legs, push the heels away, lift the arms to come up. Release the arms and rest. This is a soft Tadasana now where you're just resting, you're quietening, you're finishing up. Good, strong pose for the legs and the knees and also the abdomen. We're coming now to Virabhadrasana I. So be in the middle of your mat, so that you've got space to the left and the right sides of you. Fingertips to the chest, and on an inhalation, step or jump the feet apart. Make sure it's a nice wide step so that when you bend the front leg for Virabhadrasana I, you have space for a 90-degree bend. You want to, at first, make sure that you're lifting the chest and you're releasing the shoulders. This is Utkatasana Padasana. Lock the elbows, extend the arms. We want to turn the feet to Pajva. Because you're coming to Virabhadrasana I, turn the hips and turn the arms like an aeroplane, coming to Vimasana. Back leg is strong, middle buttocks are in. And when you bend the front knee, like Utkatasana, come with that awareness of the shin. Bend, lift the shin, get the buttock to descend. So if your knee is coming over the ankle joint, step the back foot back, but front foot works too. Turn the hips to face that front knee, bend. Move from the right buttock bone to the divider of the knee. The right toes are free. You're stomping into the heel, keeping the shin tall. Breathe. If it's within your practice to look up, you look up. Otherwise, keep the head straight. When you want to come up, lift the shin to straighten the front leg. Lift the arms to lighten the load and turn. Take your hands on your hips at any time to rest. Line up the feet again. Take the arms out to the side. If you don't have space to turn, you can always already here turn the arms and turn the arms to take the arms up over the head already. And then turn the hips. When you turn the hips, bring that right hip forward, suck that left hip back, turn the abdomen from right to left. Once you're coming to bend, keep the right leg strong and move that left buttock. You need to widen some more. You want to bring that left thigh parallel to the floor, so widen some more. You want to bring a 90-degree bend to this left leg. So let the buttock descend, sit into that left buttock, move from the buttock to the knee, lift the shin, breathe. Turn the hips, turn the chest. If you can look up, you do. If you can take your palms together, you do. Keep the back leg strong. When you lift up, you lift that back inner thigh, you lift this left shin, you lift the arms and the sides of the body to come up. Turn the feet and step yourself back to Tadasana, soft, quiet Tadasana here. Coming now to Uttanasana. So Uttanasana, if you can get your fingertips comfortably to the floor in the forward bend, then great. If you're unable to do so, you're going to use bricks. Urdhva Uttanasana is the halfway, so you can keep your feet hip distance apart. Extend up, feel that abdominal control, and come down with this extended spine, taking your hands to the bricks or to the floor. So keep that abdominal control as you come down, lift the breastbone, and you should feel that the back muscles need to work also. So it's abdominal muscles, it's back muscles that make up your core and also the glutes. Here, release from the back hamstring to the buttock bone, get the sacrum to come into the body. Feel that feeling that the skin and the muscles of the legs are wrapping to the bone, that cling wrap effect. You want to lift your breastbone away to get that extension in the front body, but keep the back of the neck long. So don't be tempted to just lift the chin, lift the chin. Firm up the legs, stomp into the heels, suck up the arches, the knees are lifting, legs are strong. Exhale, pull the abdomen back to the spine. Don't let the abdomen just drop to the floor. Uttanasana is a nice preparation for Paschimottanasana, the forward bend. If you're able to take your fingertips to the floor, take them, start dropping the bricks. If you have a decent forward bend where you can keep that extension in the front body and go into a deeper forward bend where you can take the hands back in line with the feet, then you do. Listen to your back. Forward bends are challenging for backs. Keep the legs strong if you can, back of the neck long. Keep breathing into the pose. And when you've held the pose to your capacity, you need to come up. So you're not going to use this pose to push too hard here. We want to continue with abdominal work. So up you come. And we're coming to Paschimottanasana. In Paschimottanasana, you're sitting on some height with the legs extended out in front of you in Dandasana. So when you sit in Dandasana with the legs out in front of you, you want the sacrum to come into the body. The flesh of the buttocks is back so that the crease between the buttock and the thigh are open and you're on the front of the buttock bones. When you drop and you're unable to climb onto the top front of the buttock bones, you need height. And for forward bends, height is so much nicer because it already starts that release for the extension. If you can reach your feet, you're going to reach your feet. If you're unable to reach your feet, you take hold of the strap, and that will give you a little bit of something to work with. Once you've got hold of your feet, again, come to the halfway, you're lifting your chest, keeping the legs strong. If you have any back issues, just be cautious with forward bends, rather work in the halfway. If you have back issues, also take the feet hip distance apart. That is also easier for beginners. When you feel ready, exhale, descend into your forward bend, keeping that length in the abdomen and the sides of the body, the sides of the waist. Paschimottanasana is a challenging forward bend, so feel that you're trying to extend the front body. You're not only bending, coming forward into the pose. Lift to the halfway again, lift your chest. Feel how from the heels you're retracting into the hips. Lift your chest. And this is good preparation for the L-sits. So from here, keeping this concave action in the spine, this extension of the side body, bring your hands next to your body. Keep lifting forward, extending forward. And that is the shape you're going to need for the L-sits. So when you're ready, release and come to the upright. You can stay on the buttock support. It's not necessary. Take a blanket for the feet and the calves. So we're doing the L-sits where you're trying to use the abdominal contraction to lift the buttocks off the floor. Okay, here it is easier if you take a little bit of height under the hands. We're going to remove this blanket from under the buttocks unless you absolutely need it. Bring the hands slightly forward so that the heel of the hand is in line with the hip bone socket. Lean forward and up with the chest. And as you exhale, retract the legs back, push into the bricks. Strong upper body work. Each exhalation, contract the abdomen, shorten the waist, contract the abdomen, breathe here, even though they're shorter, sharper breaths. When you need to release, you come down. You listen to your body. If you're doing it with sheer grit and clenching your teeth, don't. When you're ready and you've released and you've relaxed and you want to go for a second one, go for it. In the L-sits position, we are eventually trying to lift the feet up also. So it is strong leg work. It is strong abdominal work. The height of the bricks is helpful, but if you have long arms, if you have that abdominal control to really lift up and you don't need the bricks, you can start doing away with the bricks. Don't drop the head too much. Breathe. Don't hold the breath, even though it's hard to breathe. And then release. So one of the ways I like to practice, because I also can't do L-sits, is to cheat and take a strap. If you have a yoga strap, you need one that tightens, so this is going to be useful for you. Come to that Paschimottanasana, that forward bend that we had a moment ago, and you're taking the strap at the base of the shoulder blades, underneath the armpits, and across the tops of the feet. So you need to measure out what's going to work for you. This is going to help to contract the legs in. Kim's leaning forward, and as she pushes into the bricks, hopefully as she lifts up, the feet and the legs will lift too. And when you're done there, release. Okay. So play around with the different strap support. You might find that you want it a little bit shorter. It might be easier for you if it is shorter. You want to lean into it. You want to, once you're in the pose and your buttocks are back, lift your chest and lift the legs up. And then feel, can you contract the abdomen? Can you contract in to maybe one day relinquish the strap? Okay, so when you've practiced those L-sits, they're not easy to do. They are challenging, but they do help you to develop strength for poses like Lolasana. We're coming now to a well-deserved Savasana. So lying flat on your back. First, bend up the knees. Have the blanket support for your head and your neck. If you don't need it, don't want it, don't use it. Adjust the back of the neck. The back of the neck is long. Adjust the flesh of the upper back and the shoulders. Adjust the flesh of the buttocks, so a bit of a pelvic tilt, or manually move the flesh. Once you've released the legs, you can flop the feet out to the side. You can roll from the inner thigh out. Relax. You're also rolling from the inner arm out. Relax now by closing the eyes, quietening the senses. With each exhalation, soften the skin of the whole body. With each exhalation, imagine that you are melting into the mat. Hopefully, you've adjusted your body sufficiently and correctly that there's a straight line from the nose through the breastbone, through the navel, through the pubic bone. And the two arms are placed equally from the midline, the two legs also. The feet are as far apart as you need to let there be quietness in the groin region. Each exhalation, relax the abdomen, let the abdomen settle down. Each exhalation, make sure the shoulders are released. Across the top shoulder, that whole shoulder joint. Elbows rested into the floor and the fingers just sort of curl softly into the palm. Back of the neck is long, the jaw, the throat, the teeth, the tongue, everything completely let go and relax. Let go the skin and the muscles of the face from the hairline. Let the skin of the forehead release down to the eyebrows, to the eyelids, to the eyelashes. The skin and muscles of the cheeks also release down. From the center of your forehead, release the skin out to the sides, towards the temples, quieten the temples. Keep the mouth, the lips soft, the lips barely touching. Each exhalation, relax into your Savasana. If thoughts come, acknowledge them, release them, come back to your breath, come back to your body. If you get disturbed by any sounds, any sensations in the body, again, come back to the breath and just be in Savasana. You can stay in Savasana for as long as you want or need. Start coming out of it by taking gentle inhalations. Each inhalation becoming a little bit fuller, a little bit more profound. So the way that each exhalation sunk you into Savasana, let the inhalations bring you back to the surface of consciousness. Bringing your hands onto your abdomen. Just connect with your breath here. On the next breath in, you're going to stretch your arms over your head, giving your body a nice long deep stretch. Yawn or sigh the breath out, and then bend your knees, roll onto your right hand side. Stay in this fetal position for a few breaths. The left side of the body just holding you in this quiet Savasana state. When you come up, you bring the head up last, you come up almost lazily. So pressing into the left hand, roll to the floor, push yourself up. Come to any comfortable seated position. Sit upright, bring your hands in the prayer position, close your eyes again and just come to the body, come to the breath once more. With a small smile on your face, just take a moment here to give thanks for the health and strength of your body. Each exhalation, connecting with the abdomen, drawing the abdomen back to the spine, keeping the abdominal contents in its place. Each inhalation, lifting up the spine, opening up the chest, until you feel ready to let the eyes open, let them flutter open and focus. Namaste. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for joining us.